In this video, you're going to learn what mental training means, what mental training tools you can use as an athlete, and then how you can create your own mental training routine for yourself. Hey there, I'm Eli Straw, mental performance coach and the founder of SuccessStartsWithin.com. Now, what does it mean to train your mind? Your brain can't do push-ups, take jump shots, or field ground balls. So what is meant by the term mental training? While your mind cannot act out physical tasks, there are physical actions that you can take that work to cultivate certain mental skills. To better understand mental training for athletes, you need to think of characteristics such as confidence and focus in a very similar way to physical skills. For example, if you're an athlete and you want to jump higher, what do? You would work on increasing leg strength and explosiveness. Now, how is that done? Through training on a daily and weekly basis. Likewise, if you want to increase your confidence, for example, how can that be accomplished? Well, taking the same approach, you would train yourself to feel more confident on a daily basis. So, if we put it very simply, mental training is a way of cultivating mental skills and characteristics through proactive action. You aren't going to sit around hoping to feel confident and hoping to reduce your anxiety. With mental training, you choose specific mental training tools and you make it happen. When it comes to training your mind, there are a few different tools that you can use. Interestingly, some may not even appear to be tools at first glance, but the truth is, each one can be used to train your mind in a certain way to help you control your emotions. There are many different drills and exercises that you can do to strengthen your body and then also to improve your physical skills. However, if you choose one that is not geared specifically towards improving the skill that you're after, then your efforts are going to be a little bit wasted. The same is kind of true for mental training. You want to be sure that you're choosing the right mental training tools for you and for your goals. And so here are the main mental training tools and the key characteristics and skills they help to develop. Tool number 1 is mental imagery. This involves creating a scene in your mind and going over it in detail. Within sports, this involves seeing yourself perform your skills. An example is a soccer player imagining herself shooting, a basketball player imagining free throws, or a swimmer going through a race. This form of mental imagery work, it really works to increase your confidence, cope with pressure, and then also decrease anxiety. Another type of mental imagery involves imagining a really calm and relaxing scene. This is going to help you relax before competition and can train your ability to calm your mind. The next tool is mindfulness. There are 2 main ways that mindfulness helps you when training your mind. Mindfulness is going to strengthen your focus, and then it also increases emotional control. So let's begin with focus. There's no doubting the positive impact of strong focus. Possessing the ability to center your attention and drown out the many distractions that pull at your mind is going to be very important. Yet it's always not going to be that easy to do, which is why you must train your ability to concentrate. Mindfulness is the act of bringing your awareness into the present moment. You work to center your attention, and by doing so, you gain control over your attention. Through the practice of mindfulness, you strengthen your mind's ability to focus no matter the distraction. Another way that mindfulness helps with training your mind is by giving you more emotional control. So managing your emotions and reactions is a key piece to success as an athlete. And through mindfulness, you gain more understanding over your thoughts and emotions, which therefore is going to provide you with more emotional control. Another mental training tool is self-talk. That voice in your head constantly speaking to you can either be your best friend or your worst enemy. Within mental training, self-talk is used to restructure the way that you speak to yourself so that the voice in your head can be turned into an asset. The basis behind self-talk is that thoughts are going to drive your feelings, meaning what you are thinking impacts your emotional state. To increase confidence, reduce anxiety, or increase motivation, you must speak to yourself differently. Self-talk is the practice of identifying your current negative thoughts and replacing them with more positive and productive ones. Then you're going to repeat those positive and productive alternatives to yourself on a consistent basis. And then a 4th mental training tool is setting process goals for yourself. One of the worst frames of thought that's really only going to distract you from what you need to be doing is outcome-oriented thinking. To counteract this, you need to turn your attention onto the process. Now, how can you do that? Well, in order to turn your attention onto the process, you need something to focus on. That's where process goals come into play. Whether it's before a training session, a game, or simply for a day, you set process goals for yourself and then you let them guide you. Now that you know what mental training is and the different tools used, it's time to create your own mental training routine. When it comes to training your mind, just as with any other skill, your goal should be consistency, which is why you need to create a plan that you're going to follow. So step number 1 is you want to identify your strengths and weaknesses. First, make a list of what right now are strengths and weaknesses in terms of your mindset and your personality. So on a piece of paper, make two separate categories, one labeled strengths and one labeled weaknesses. Now, brainstorm what your strengths are in terms of your mindset and what are your weaknesses. Here's a list of traits for you to think about: confidence, focus, motivation, the ability to handle pressure, anxiety, fear, negative or positive thoughts, emotional control, and then also self-discipline. Now, step number 2 is to choose the mental training tools to use. So once you have your list compiled, you want to first pay attention to the weakness side. What characteristics stand out the most to you? These are going to be the skills that you want to give the most attention to right now up front. So what you want to do is choose the mental training tool that will work best to build that specific skill. For example, if you want to build confidence, visualization and self-talk are a great pair. If you struggle with sports anxiety, mindfulness, along with setting process goals, are great to use. Next, look at your strengths and ask yourself what mental training tool would help you to continually improve your strengths. Then, for step number 3, you want to create your daily schedule. Now that you have the mental training tools you wish to use, it's time to really put them into action. Now, when you want to improve a certain aspect of your game, or you want to get stronger in the weight room, what are you going to do? Either you or a coach will put a routine in place. This routine will outline which days you'll train and what you'll do within each day. So the same approach is taken to mental training for athletes. As with anything, consistency is what will make the difference between you really making a change happen within your game or you simply spinning your wheels and staying the same. By setting yourself a schedule, you are creating the opportunity for consistency. So take the mental training tools you chose and decide when you will train them each and every day. A great time to perform mental training is right when you wake up or right before you go to bed. Whenever you decide to schedule your mental training, be sure it's a time that you're going to commit to and you're going to be able to stick with it consistently. Now, strengthening your mind, no matter what you do, is going to lead to greater success. The act of doing so happens through mental training. Whether it's to build confidence, increase focus, or reduce anxiety, there's a mental training tool that will help. The important part is locating what you want to improve and then choosing the proper exercise to facilitate growth. From there, it's really just all about consistency and putting a schedule into practice. Now, if you're interested in a more in-depth approach to training your mind, there are 2 courses that I have available. One is the Mentally Tough Kid, and this is perfect for athletes ages 9 to 13. And the other one is Mental Training Advantage, and this is good for athletes 14 and over. In addition to these courses, I also offer one-on-one mental performance coaching. Now, links to learn more about these resources are in the description below. Thank you for watching, and I wish you the best of success in all that you do.